Alright guys, I thought it could be fun right before the EUL and NAL starts to make a small prediction video on where I think each team will place, and then my thoughts were that I was gonna do it on my stream as well and actually have Twitch chat decide who they think is gonna place where, and then see if I know better or if my Twitch chat knows better. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump straight into it. I'll be doing North American League first and European League after. Last place, on 9th place, I've put Beast Coast. Don't know much about them, not sure what to expect of them. 8th place, we have Mirage. Couple of experienced players, couple of names that we do know about, but again, coming from the Canadian League, not having as much experience, I don't expect a whole bunch just yet. Except, aka the former rent-free roster on 7th place, Young Gunners with much to show, but little experience. Then on the 6th place we have Sonics, or is it United? Because, well, basically what happened is that is the United roster minus Alpha Map plus Super, now called Sonics. Yeah, it's a bit of chaos there, but 6th place is where I put them, and on 5th I've put Oxygen Esports. Now, Oxygen was notoriously known as being at the 4th/3rd place in the in North American League for the longest time. But now that we're expanding the teams as well as making some roster changes, I'm actually counting them out of the top 4, at least for now. But Oxygen parted ways with Slash and Biologic, picked up Mr. Yoga and Mr. Kino, young gunners with lots of potential. We saw Yoga in the NSG X Dark Zero tournament actually dropped 21 kills on Oregon, which is pretty spectacular. So I'm expecting good things from him, and I'm expecting good things from Oxygen, but I do think that they need some more time to work things out. 4th place, I've put Disrupt Gaming. Now, I put them on 4th place before they actually won the NSG X Dark Zero tournament, so that was a bit surprised me this morning. But yeah, 4th place, that roster consists of Shuttle, Mark, Retro, Iconic, and J90, or as I called him, J9, or just J. Actually, I called him J90, but it's a 0, so my bad. 3rd place. Now, I will not put in this. I think Disrupt Gaming and SSG, it could be 3rd or 4th in each way or each order. SSG has, with very recent news, made the announcement that a Canadian will be stepping down as active player and go into retirement, and Luke, SSG's analyst, will take his spot. So, whether Disrupt places 3rd and SSG 4th, or maybe in a crazy world it'll be Disrupt Gaming 3rd, Oxygen 4th, SSG 5th, depending on how they figure things out. However, Luke has been with the team for quite some time, so I'm sure he's got the synergy and knows the players, he knows the ins and outs of the team. But whether Luke or not is actually ready as a player to that level in this short amount of time is where I put my big question mark. And that leads us to the top 2. Who takes it? Well, one team is a team that's made no roster changes whatsoever this season, and the other team is a team that has made one, but has been notorious for not making such changes in the past. 2nd place goes Dark Zero. They have parted ways with Hot and Cold and taken on NJR in his spot. So now NJR is not a player to be underestimated by any means of measure, but I do think that the fact that TSM has not made a single roster change, with pretty much most of the North American League having done so, I think that puts him in a very comfortable position. So without knowing too much about the details of the meta game or how teams have been practicing or how their performance has been looking, that is my top 9, because there's only 9 teams, list for the North American League. And nothing too crazy, I don't think, but to be honest, I think that's the safe way of playing it. As for the European League, let's start with the top, shall we? All the way around the rosy. On 1st place, we got the French powerhouse of BDS. Now, much like TSM, they've made no roster changes, and they're looking pretty damn good, and have been looking damn good for a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kept doing so going forward. On 2nd place, I've actually put G2 Esports, and that is not with me on the roster. As you may or may not know, I am retired. I'm a pensioner. I am vibing in my room, not doing much these days. But who took my spot is someone called Kayak. The fucking yak. And he's not a pensionist or a retired person. He's a 19-year-old super passionate grinder who is a natural support player, taking my spot in G2. I was playing hard support, but as a flex player. So I might have more experience, I might have maybe more consistent performances across the board, but the role and the position that I am being replaced in is by a better player natural to that role. So I don't think G2 Esports is going anywhere anytime soon. On 3rd place, we got the Russian machine of Empire Esports. Now, I haven't seen much from them in a long time, but they were looking better towards the end, and they did have one good split in the season, and I honestly think that they're in a pretty good spot to make good things coming their way in the future. On 4th spot, well, it's a team that used to be top 4 all the time, if not top 2. A team that used to be spoken of very highly every single season. It's a team that also made it all the way down to relegations from top in a single split. And is now a team that's made a few changes and looks like they got a new identity and looks like they got things figured out. Rogue is on 4th place in my books, and that is with the addition of Cryan and with the departure of Kaseka. Now, it's not necessarily Kaseka leaving and Cryan joining that makes me say that they're better. It's more that when we did see them play in relegations and whatnot, they looked like they had figured something out that they previously had failed to do. So, I'm expecting that to stick. I think Cryan is a great addition. He was on my team G2 at some point. And despite falling short in our team, I do think that Cryan is a very capable player. And I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing going forward. Now, after that, I've actually put Secret on the 5th place. The return of the European guys turned North American back in Europe. We got Gomfy, a good friend of mine, and Superpower Sleben. Or is it Sleben Superpower Player? Yeah, I think that's the Panara song that he made. Sleben Superpower Player and Gomfy back, joining forces once again from North America turning home. So very excited to see them back. Very surprised to see them getting picked up so soon, actually. They had mediocre results in North America, and they weren't really a big part of the roster changes in Europe, of course, with the timings, but they made it back just in time to get picked up by a team, and Secret it was, so super stoked. Navi. And Navi is going to be one that could actually go really far up or maybe even further below. Navi has parted ways with probably one of their biggest inconsistencies, that being in Joe. And when I say inconsistencies, I don't want you to think that Joe is a bad player by any means, because Joe is in fact a great player. But Joe is a player that goes either all in or he doesn't go in at all. He either goes double digits or he goes, a breadstick. Joe would get an advantage for his team and then he could very quickly throw it away or at least give it back to the opponents very quickly after. So Navi getting rid of their inconsistency in Joe, I think could benefit them massively if they as a team play around this new way of playing the game. And it's going to be more team coordinated and team based kind of way of playing, I predict. Excited to see what they can bring. Then we got Kovana, high potential, excited to watch them. They remind me of like the Darkseer of Europe with a lot of strats, a lot of depth and playing the game. At a very high level, strategically speaking, but they might not have the biggest hyped up players in the league. Then we got Vitality, where I don't really know exactly what to say. As of this video, it's not public yet that Fabian and Goga has been booted, but as far as I know that they have, and they're gonna go full French. I'm not sure exactly about the roster. I'm not exactly sold on this potential either. They failed to make the previous roster of Hungary, Fabian, and Goga, Bibu and Rise work, so I'm curious to see if they can make it work now that they're all speaking their own native language, being French. Second to last, we got Virtus Pro. Honestly, just not sure what to expect of them, not sure where to put them, and I had reasons to put anyone else above them, except for the bottom place of Trainhard Esports. They have a completely new roster. It's a new org I haven't seen in Pro League before, and they are taking the spot of Tempra Esports that have completely left the seed space out of the blue, seemingly. Haven't scrimmed them, don't know much about their players, or most of their players at least, haven't played them in recent times, and just a disclaimer here, I haven't been scrimming for a long time. I was retired. Before that, we were trying Kayak in G2, so none of these predictions in Europe are based off my experience with the metagame, the teams, or their current performance in scrims. I know nothing about neither of them, as I'm not involved with G2 internally when it comes to the scrimming side or Pro League side of things at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna take this to Twitch chat in a week to come and see where they put these teams. Maybe we get very similar, maybe not, and yeah. If you guys want to be a part of that, I'll be tweeting out so that you guys be sure to tune in to get your vote in if that's what you want. And if not, I'll be officializing that Twitch chat vote in a later time down the line, and we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. See you when Pro League starts.